Louise and Pasq.
Hi, Helen.
Hi, thank you so much for joining me today, for joining part of the Patient Insight series, which we're going to focus on mental health. Thank you very much for taking part in this series. We really appreciate your time. So could you please tell me a little bit about your daughter and how her condition affects her, please?
Yes, so she has a condition called ALG1 CDG, which is a very rare inherited metabolic disease, and it comes under the umbrella of CDG, and there are over 130 different types. So it's very rare, and she's one of 19 known cases worldwide. And her main issues are epilepsy. It does mainly affect her brain, but it's a multi-system disease. So she has epilepsy, hypotonia, microcephaly, learning delay, and global development delay. But mainly she's very happy.
Wonderful, thank you so much. And can you tell me a little bit about the effects that the lack of Sabrina's diagnosis had on your emotional well-being? I know it's quite a long time till she got that diagnosis.
Yeah, it was quite an emotional strain because for us it was a 4-year wait before we had the diagnosis. And within that time, it began with having this umbrella term of global development delay, which just didn't mean enough to us. And also the term delay means, you know, there could be the potential of catching up, which we eventually realized was not going to happen. And then when there was this realization that she could have CDG, there was also, we had to contend with over 130 types of CDG, and they bring different risks on these different types, such as shortened lifespan or potential of organ failure. So that just added to the emotional strain.
And as a father, Pasq, how has the diagnosis impacted you?
Well, largely it's been a positive impact because it's made it more well-defined as to what we're facing. With this type of CDG, especially that she was diagnosed with CDG first of all, and then the type, we know what we're facing now, what type of risks and what other risks that we don't really need to focus on. So it's much more well-defined, and that for me is really helpful. And it just helps in terms of future expectations or knowing what's possible.
Yeah, it just helps to remove that unknown, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So obviously Sabrina needs quite a bit of care. Do you manage to find time for your own self-care and your own well-being?
Well, it's sometimes a struggle, but I've come to realise that it's absolutely essential to look after yourself, and you can't pour from an empty cup. And really taking some time out, whether that be to read a book or have a bath or go to yoga or meditate, whatever really makes you feel better, it's so important to fit that in. And we kind of work as a team and swap, you know, and okay, I'll go for a break now and then you can go next, you know, just to keep us each supporting each other and making sure that everyone else is happy in the family, because we have a son as well.
Oh, wonderful. That sounds really great. So you've got great support from each other. So what about other support that you've accessed? Who do you reach out to? Who's your support network?
So before COVID, it would be family, but Pasq's parents are older now, so we want to keep them safe. So we haven't been to see them, and the children haven't, which is sad. But we do have a direct payment worker through Aiming High, which allows us some respite. So she takes Sabrina once a month, and it gives us time with our son, which is lovely. But apart from that, we really have the Facebook groups. We were part of SWAN, Syndromes Without a Name, for the first 4 years. That's all about undiagnosed children. And then, of course, Metabolic UK, CDG UK, and CDG Global Alliance. So those are all fantastic support networks. You can bounce ideas off other parents and support each other, and they've been amazing. And personally, I've also had some counselling since Sabrina's been born, to help me come to terms with looking after a child with additional needs, and giving me some tools to be able to cope better.
That's a really positive step to take. What encouraged you to take that step?
I think for me, I knew when I was overwhelmed. I think you know when you're not quite coping right. And I think sometimes it's easier to talk to someone outside of the family. And that shouldn't be an embarrassing thing to do. It shouldn't have a stigma. It should be, actually, that's really strong and that's a courageous move to make. And yeah, I think that's really helped me. And I think if you feel like you're not coping, reach out and get some help. It shouldn't have that stigma attached.
Absolutely, absolutely, very well said. So if we are supporting another family who's in a similar position and have not yet accessed any sort of support and are facing difficulties, what would your advice be?
It would definitely be to seek support wherever you need to. It can be physically and psychologically demanding to take care of a special needs child. So it's important to get that support wherever you need to. At the end of the day, we need to be the best version of ourselves to take care of a special needs child. And to try and cope all on your own can be difficult. So definitely seek support where you need to.
Wonderful. Thank you both so much. You've been absolutely wonderful during this interview. Thank you very much for your time and for being so open and honest with us as well. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Pleasure.